All right, welcome. So, concept 5, looking at Thomas Jefferson. So, the overall essay question for concept 5 is, let me get to the slide for Thomas Jefferson. Discuss the arrival of principles and contributions of Jeffersonian democracy and the conditions as stated by Jefferson necessary to preserve such a democracy. All right, so in this segment, we're going to be looking at Concept 5 of this essay, Concept 5.1 of this essay question. Discuss the election of 1800 and the arrival of Jeffersonian democracy. So basically, Jeffersonian democracy is one of these archetypes within U.S. history, like Jacksonian democracy, or the antebellum period, or the Revolutionary period, or the Civil Rights Movement, or Reconstruction, right? Jeffersonian democracy is an era. It's a specific era, obviously named after the namesake of Thomas Jefferson. Discuss the election of 1800 and the arrival of Jeffersonian democracy. So the split in the Federalist Party during the Adams administration made Thomas Jefferson and the Republican Party's prospect for winning the presidency in the election of 1800 very good. And we'll look more of that in detail when we get to the next lecture in the next unit, looking at the history of the two-party system. The Republican caucus named Thomas Jefferson as their presidential candidate and Aaron Burr for vice president, while the Federalists supported John Adams for president and C.C. Pinckney for vice president. The final vote was 64 for Pinckney, 65 for Adams, and 73 for Jefferson and Burr. Because the unexpected deadlock, Jefferson and Burr, the House of Representatives, would have had to decide the election. According to the Constitution, voting was to be done by states, one vote each, not by individuals. Thus, 9 of the 16 states were needed to win back then. The House of Representatives was controlled by several more months by the lame duck Federalists, meaning that they were just in power until they were out of power because of the election, so traditionally they don't have too much power at that time, who were eager to elect Burr because he was from New York. They felt he would represent their interests more than Jefferson. Also, Burr would not step down as he was hoping to pick up the presidency from the back door. Finally, on the 36th ballot, Jefferson captured the presidency due to the failure of the Federalists to make the Republicans accept Burr. Also due to Hamilton siding with Jefferson. And later this is going to be one of the causes of Burr gunning down Hamilton in that very famous duel between Burr and Hamilton. The election of 1800 is significant in American history for 3 reasons. The possibility of another tie was removed by the 12th Amendment to the Constitution in 1804, which required the electors to vote on separate ballots for president and vice president. So they had to be part of the same ticket, in other words. Jefferson later claimed that the election of 1800 was a revolution comparable to that of 1776. In reality, it was no revolution in the sense of a massive popular upheaval or an impending of the political system. What was revolutionary about it, though, was the peaceful and orderly transfer of power on the basis of an election whose results all parties accepted, without bloodshed. This is considered a remarkable achievement by any country of its time in history, as comparative developments would not take place in Britain for another generation. The most important result of the election of 1800 and Jeffersonian revolution was only in a change in government's attitude towards the people. All right, so this is the third and final significance of it. The Federalists openly advocated government by the rich for the rich. Chief Justice John Jay said it best: "Those who own the country ought to govern it." Let the rich rule, insisted many Federalist leaders, for they had the leisure with which to study the programs for governing. They also enjoyed all the advantages of intelligence, education, and culture, as they would see it, right? The Republican Democrats, on the other hand, advocated government for the rich, for the interest of the common person. Jefferson, however, did not advocate giving every adult white male the vote. He favored government for only those men who were literate enough to inform themselves of problems of society. But he had profound faith in the reasonableness and teachableness of the masses and their collective wisdom when taught properly. Because of his republicanism and republicanizing ideas, the common person would identify with Jefferson and the new government more than his predecessor. Jefferson's presidency, especially his skillful guidance of Congress, demonstrates his brilliant performance as a leader. This can be seen by his attempts to cultivate programs in the public interest that truly transcended party lines and help build a national identity. Also in foreign affairs, he was forced to deal with challenges from foreign countries. Jefferson proved to be a strong nationalist. Thus, the importance of Jefferson was his ability to adjust to a strong sectional and personal philosophy for the good of the nation. When he became aware of such adjustments were necessary, his pragmatism was an essential ingredient in helping this country become a nation in reality, not just a name. And again, this is the big challenge for the first couple of generations of the United States, to create a sense of nation. The secret of Jefferson's success with the common person was that he appealed to and expressed America's better self, its idealism, simplicity, and hopeful outlook, optimism, rather than material and imperial ambitions, which Hamilton represented. All right, that's 5.1. Next segment, we'll look at 5.2, looking at the Louisiana Purchase.